The ship was dark, cold, and smelled faintly of metal. Alex had no idea how long they'd been unconscious, but the throbbing headache suggested it wasn't just a nap gone wrong. Blinking against the dim light flickering from overhead panels, Alex tried to sit up, but their hands were bound tightly behind their back with some kind of glowing rope. Panic bubbled in Alex's chest as they took in their surroundings. They were inside what looked like a holding cell, though cell felt too generous for this place. It was more like a metal box with walls that seemed alive, pulsating faintly as if breathing. There were no windows, only one door made of opaque glass that shimmered whenever Alex glanced at it. Alex swallowed hard, trying to piece together what had happened. One moment, they were on the research station orbiting Europa, running routine diagnostics on the life support systems. The next? A blinding flash of light, a deafening hum, and then, nothing. Now here they were, trapped aboard an alien vessel, surrounded by technology far beyond anything humanity had ever seen. "Think, Alex," they whispered to themselves, forcing calm into their voice. "You've got one job now, escape." Shifting awkwardly, Alex leaned forward and scanned the room again. No sharp objects, no loose tools, nothing useful except for a small vent near the ceiling. But even if they could reach it, there was no way to break through those thick metal grates without help. A sudden hiss interrupted Alex's thoughts. The shimmering door slid open, revealing two towering figures silhouetted against the brighter corridor beyond. Their skin, if you could call it that, was a deep purple, almost black, and covered in intricate patterns that glowed faintly blue. Each step they took echoed ominously, their elongated limbs moving with unnatural grace. Alex instinctively shuffled backward until their back hit the wall. The aliens didn't speak, instead, they tilted their heads in unison, studying Alex like a lab specimen. One of them raised a hand, pointing at Alex, and a strange sensation washed over them, a tingling warmth spreading across their body. And then, Alex heard it. Not aloud, but in their mind. "You will comply." "No," Alex muttered, shaking their head. "I'm not doing anything for you." The other alien stepped closer, its glowing eyes narrowing. "Resistance is futile. Your species has much to offer us." Offer? What did that mean? Before Alex could ask, or protest further, the first alien pressed something on its wristband. In an instant, Alex felt their muscles lock up, frozen in place. Panic surged anew as they realized they couldn't move, couldn't even scream. The last thing Alex saw before everything went black again was the second alien reaching out, its clawed fingers brushing against their forehead. When Alex woke up, they weren't in the cell anymore. Alex groaned as consciousness returned, their head pounding like a drum. This time, they weren't in the pulsating metal box. Instead, they found themselves strapped to a cold, metallic table in what looked like a laboratory. Strange instruments hung from the ceiling, some glowing faintly while others emitted soft hums or clicks. Tubes snaked across the floor, connecting various machines to the table beneath them. Their wrists and ankles were secured by restraints that glowed faintly blue, similar to the ropes from before. Alex tested the bindings, but they didn't budge. Panic threatened to rise again, but Alex forced it down. "Stay calm," they reminded themselves. "You have one job, escape." The room was eerily silent except for the occasional whirring of machinery. There were no windows, just smooth walls that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Overhead, a cluster of floating orbs hovered, each emitting a pale yellow glow. They shifted positions occasionally, almost as if watching Alex. A sudden movement caught Alex's eye. One of the aliens entered the room, its long strides deliberate and calculated. It carried a tray with several tools, some resembling surgical instruments, others completely unrecognizable. Its glowing patterns pulsed brighter as it approached, and Alex felt their heart rate spike. "Stay away from me!" Alex shouted, struggling against the restraints. "Whatever you're planning, don't do it." The alien paused, tilting its head slightly as if considering Alex's words. Then, without warning, it placed a hand on Alex's forehead. That same tingling warmth spread through their body, accompanied by a voice in their mind. "We seek understanding," the alien said telepathically. "Your biology holds answers we require." "Answers? What answers?" Alex demanded, though they doubted the alien would explain further. Ignoring the question, the alien picked up one of the tools, a thin, needle-like device that shimmered with an iridescent sheen. Alex's breath hitched as the alien brought it closer, stopping just above their arm. "No! Don't touch me!" Alex yelled, twisting violently in an attempt to break free. But the restraints held firm, leaving them helpless. The needle pierced their skin, and Alex gasped at the sharp sting. To their surprise, the pain quickly faded, replaced by a strange numbness. The alien observed closely, its glowing eyes scanning Alex's face as if searching for something. Moments later, it removed the needle and set it aside, picking up another tool, a small sphere that emitted a soft hum. "What are you doing to me?" Alex asked, their voice trembling. "Analyzing," came the reply. "Your species is unique." Before Alex could respond, the sphere began to emit a low-frequency vibration. The sensation traveled through the table and into Alex's body, making their muscles twitch involuntarily. Their vision blurred, and for a moment, they thought they might pass out. Then, just as suddenly as it had started, the vibration stopped. The alien stepped back, studying the data displayed on a nearby screen. Alex couldn't read the symbols, but they didn't need to. They could feel the alien's curiosity, almost like a tangible presence pressing against their mind. "You're not going to get anything useful from me," Alex spat, trying to sound braver than they felt. "I'm just a technician. I fix broken equipment. That's all." The alien turned back to them, its expression unreadable. "Modesty is irrelevant. Your genetic code contains potential." "Potential for what?" Alex snapped. "To be your guinea pig? Forget it." The alien didn't respond. Instead, it pressed a button on the wall, and the door slid open. Another alien entered, carrying a transparent container filled with a swirling, luminescent liquid. The sight sent a chill down Alex's spine. "What is that?" Alex asked, their voice barely above a whisper. The first alien gestured toward the container. "This will enhance your abilities." "Enhance my, what?" Alex stammered. "No. You can't just experiment on me." But the aliens showed no sign of hesitation. The second alien approached, holding the container aloft. As it neared, Alex realized the liquid inside seemed alive, shifting and swirling as if responding to their presence. Desperation took hold. With every ounce of strength they had, Alex yanked at the restraints, shouting, "Let me go! Let me go!" For a brief moment, something unexpected happened. The glowing bindings flickered. Alex froze, staring at their wrists in disbelief. Had they imagined it? No, the restraints were definitely weaker now. Whatever these aliens had done to them during the procedure must have triggered something within their body. Taking a deep breath, Alex focused all their energy on breaking free. The bindings flickered again, this time more noticeably. The aliens exchanged a glance, their glowing patterns flashing rapidly. "Anomaly detected," one of them said, its tone urgent. "Yeah, that's right," Alex muttered through gritted teeth. Surprise. With one final surge of effort, the restraints shattered, sending shards of glowing material scattering across the floor. Alex wasted no time. Rolling off the table, they stumbled to their feet, ignoring the dizziness that threatened to overwhelm them. The aliens moved to intercept, but Alex was faster. Grabbing the nearest object, a heavy metal rod, they swung it with all their might, striking one of the aliens squarely in the chest. It staggered backward, its glowing patterns dimming momentarily. Without looking back, Alex bolted for the door. The corridor outside the lab stretched endlessly in both directions, bathed in a faint bluish glow that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. Alex hesitated for only a second before sprinting to the left, their bare feet slapping against the smooth, metallic floor. Behind them, the aliens recovered quickly, their eerie voices echoing telepathically through the hallway. "Contain the subject," one of them commanded, its tone sharp and urgent. Alex didn't need to hear more. They pushed themselves harder, adrenaline masking the fatigue already creeping into their muscles. Every step felt like running through molasses, the air was thick, almost oppressive, but they couldn't afford to slow down. Not now. As they rounded a corner, Alex spotted a narrow passageway branching off to the right. Without thinking, they ducked inside, hoping it would lead somewhere useful. The passage was darker than the main corridor, with fewer glowing panels illuminating the way. Shadows danced along the walls as Alex ran, their breathing ragged and uneven. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shifted slightly, a subtle vibration that sent a jolt of panic through their body. Before they could react, a section of the wall slid open ahead, revealing another alien standing guard. Its elongated limbs moved with terrifying speed as it reached out to grab Alex. "No!" Alex shouted, skidding to a stop just in time to avoid the alien's grasp. They spun around, searching frantically for another route. To their relief, there was a small hatch embedded in the ceiling above. It looked like an access panel, just large enough for someone to squeeze through. Summoning every ounce of strength they had left, Alex leapt upward, gripping the edges of the hatch with trembling hands. The metal was cold and slick, but somehow, they managed to pull themselves up. As they crawled into the narrow duct beyond, they heard the alien below roar in frustration. "Seal all exits," came the voice of one of the pursuing aliens, reverberating through the ship. "Do not let it escape." Once inside the duct, Alex paused for a moment, catching their breath. Their heart pounded wildly, and their arms ached from the climb, but they couldn't afford to rest, not yet. Crawling forward on hands and knees, they followed the twisting path of the ventilation system, praying it would lead somewhere safe. After what felt like hours, but was likely only minutes, they emerged into a larger chamber. This room was unlike anything Alex had seen so far. It was circular, with walls lined with glowing hexagonal panels that pulsed rhythmically, casting shifting patterns of light across the floor. At the center of the room stood a massive structure resembling a crystalline tree, its branches reaching toward the ceiling. Each branch shimmered with energy, emitting a soft hum that resonated throughout the space. "What is this place?" Alex whispered, staring in awe at the alien construct. Before they could investigate further, a loud hiss filled the air. Turning sharply, Alex saw two doors on opposite sides of the room slide open simultaneously. Aliens poured in, surrounding them once again. Trapped. Alex's mind raced as they backed away from the advancing figures. There had to be a way out, a hidden exit, a weapon, something. But the room offered no obvious solutions. They were outnumbered and outmatched. Then, something extraordinary happened. One of the glowing hexagonal panels near the ceiling flared brightly, its light intensifying until it became almost blinding. A low rumble shook the room, causing the aliens to pause and look up. For a brief moment, Alex thought the ship might be malfunctioning, or worse, self-destructing. But then, a voice spoke, not telepathically, but aloud, clear and resonant. "Human," it said, addressing Alex directly. "You are not our enemy." Alex blinked in confusion. Who's talking?" The voice continued, ignoring their question. "We have observed your actions. You resist because you fear us, but we mean you no harm." "Yeah, right," Alex muttered sarcastically. "That's why I'm strapped to tables and chased through corridors, huh?" The aliens exchanged uncertain glances, their glowing patterns flickering erratically. Clearly, this voice held authority over them, it wasn't part of their usual operations. Your resistance has proven valuable, the voice went on. It reveals qualities we did not anticipate. Qualities that may aid us in our mission. Mission? What mission? Alex demanded, still backing toward the crystalline structure at the center of the room. Before the voice could answer, one of the aliens stepped forward, raising its arm. A beam of blue light shot toward Alex, striking them squarely in the chest. Pain exploded through their body, forcing them to their knees. No! Alex cried, clutching their chest as the world around them began to blur. Through the haze of agony, they noticed something strange happening to their skin. Tiny, glowing lines, similar to the patterns on the aliens' bodies, were spreading across their arms and torso. The sensation was both painful and exhilarating, as if their very DNA was being rewritten. The voice spoke again, softer this time. You are changing. Embrace it. I don't want to change. Alex screamed, tears streaming down their face. But the transformation was unstoppable. As the glowing lines spread further, Alex felt their senses sharpening. Sounds became clearer, colors brighter, and their awareness expanded beyond what they thought possible. Even the throbbing pain in their chest subsided, replaced by a strange warmth that radiated through their entire body. When the process finally stopped, Alex staggered to their feet, feeling different. Stronger. Faster. More alive than ever before. And then, they realized something even more startling. They weren't alone in their mind anymore. Alex stood frozen, their breath coming in shallow gasps as they processed the new presence inside their mind. It wasn't intrusive exactly, more like a quiet hum lingering at the edges of their consciousness, but it was undeniably there. At first, they thought it might be another telepathic trick from the aliens, but this felt different. Less invasive, more familiar. Who are you? Alex asked silently, unsure if the question would even reach whoever, or whatever, was sharing their thoughts. To their shock, an answer came almost immediately. I am part of you now. The voice was calm, steady, and strangely comforting. Unlike the aliens' telepathic communications, which had been cold and clinical, this voice carried warmth and understanding. Still, Alex couldn't shake the unease bubbling in their chest. What do you mean, part of me? They demanded, clutching their head as if trying to physically push the voice away. You absorbed fragments of our essence during your transformation, the voice explained. We are not separate entities, you and I are one. Alex's knees buckled, and they sank to the floor. No, 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 they whispered aloud, shaking their head. This isn't happening. This can't be real. The aliens watched silently, their glowing patterns dimmed as though waiting for something. The crystalline structure at the center of the room pulsed faintly, its light synchronized with the rhythm of Alex's heartbeat. Resisting will only delay the inevitable, the voice continued gently. You must accept this change. It is the key to your survival, and ours. Survival? What are you talking about? Alex snapped, their voice trembling with frustration and fear. Before the voice could respond, one of the aliens stepped forward, raising its hand. A holographic display materialized in the air between them, showing images that made Alex's blood run cold. Planets burning. Stars collapsing. Entire civilizations reduced to ash. Our mission is to preserve life, the alien projected into Alex's mind. But we cannot succeed without someone like you. Someone like me? Alex echoed, confusion mixing with dread. I'm just a technician. I fix broken machines, I don't save planets. Your species possesses adaptability beyond measure, the alien replied. And now, so do you. Alex glanced down at their hands, where the glowing lines still shimmered faintly beneath their skin. Whatever these aliens had done to them, it wasn't just some random experiment, it was intentional. Purposeful. Why me? Alex asked, directing the question both outward to the aliens and inward to the voice within. Because you resisted, the voice answered simply. Your defiance revealed qualities essential to our cause. Courage. Determination. Resourcefulness. Alex wanted to argue, to insist that they weren't brave or special or anything close to heroic, but deep down, they knew resistance was futile. These aliens didn't choose randomly, they acted with precision, selecting individuals who fit specific criteria. And somehow, despite everything, Alex had met those criteria. The holographic display shifted again, showing a map of the galaxy dotted with pulsing red markers. One marker blinked faster than the others, accompanied by a surge of urgency from the voice inside Alex's mind. That is your destination, the voice said. There, you will find allies, and answers. Allies? Alex repeated skeptically. You mean more aliens? Not all beings aboard this vessel are our kind, the voice clarified. Some are refugees, survivors of worlds already lost. They have joined us in our mission, hoping to prevent further destruction. Alex stared at the blinking marker, their thoughts racing. If what the voice said was true, if this mission truly involved saving lives, then maybe running wasn't the right choice anymore. Maybe staying and fighting alongside these strange, enigmatic beings was the only way to make sense of everything that had happened. But trust didn't come easily, not after what they'd endured. How do I know you're telling the truth? Alex challenged, narrowing their eyes at the nearest alien. The creature tilted its head, its glowing patterns flickering briefly. Then, without warning, it extended a clawed hand toward Alex. For a moment, Alex hesitated, half expecting another painful procedure. But instead, the alien placed its palm against Alex's forehead, flooding their mind with vivid memories, not their own, but the aliens. They saw flashes of devastation, cities crumbling under fiery skies, oceans boiling away into vapor, screams echoing across barren landscapes. They also saw hope, teams working tirelessly to rebuild, ships carrying survivors to safety, glimmers of unity among disparate species. When the connection broke, Alex stumbled backward, overwhelmed by the sheer weight of what they'd witnessed. Tears streamed down their face as they struggled to process the emotions coursing through them. Now you understand, the voice within said softly. This fight is not ours alone, it belongs to all who value existence. Alex took a shaky breath, wiping their tears with the back of their hand. If I agree to help you, what happens next? The alien lowered its hand, its glowing patterns brightening slightly. You will be trained. Equipped. Prepared for the challenges ahead. And if I refuse? Alex countered, their voice steadier now. For the first time, the alien hesitated. Its glowing eyes dimmed momentarily before it responded. Then you will remain here, confined until such time as you see reason. Alex clenched their fists, weighing their options. Staying meant captivity, possibly forever. Leaving meant stepping into the unknown, embracing a destiny they hadn't asked for. Either way, freedom as they knew it was gone. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Alex nodded slowly. Fine, they said, their voice firm despite the storm raging inside them. I'll help you. But if you betray me, if you try to use me, I swear I'll find a way to stop you. The alien inclined its head, seemingly satisfied. Agreement acknowledged. With that, the doors slid open once more, revealing a sleek transport pod waiting outside. Alex hesitated for a moment, glancing back at the crystalline structure pulsing softly behind them. Trust yourself, the voice within urged. You are stronger than you realize. Taking a deep breath, Alex stepped forward, climbing into the pod. As the doors closed and the vehicle began to move, they couldn't help but wonder what awaited them at the end of this journey, and whether they'd truly made the right choice. The transport pod hummed softly as it glided through the labyrinthine corridors of the alien ship. Alex sat in silence, their mind racing with questions and doubts. What kind of training would they undergo? Would it involve more painful transformations like the one that had left glowing lines etched into their skin? And most importantly, could they survive whatever lay ahead? The voice within remained quiet, offering no reassurance or guidance. It was almost as if it knew Alex needed time to process everything that had happened. For now, all they could do was watch as the pod's transparent walls revealed glimpses of the ship's interior. Unlike the sterile, oppressive design of the lab where they'd been experimented on, this section of the vessel seemed almost organic. Walls pulsed faintly, resembling living tissue, while tendrils of light snaked along the ceiling like veins carrying energy throughout the structure. After several minutes, the pod came to a stop, and the doors slid open with a soft hiss. Stepping out cautiously, Alex found themselves in a vast chamber filled with floating platforms suspended above an endless void. Each platform was connected by shimmering bridges made of pure energy, shifting colors as though alive. At the center of the room stood another crystalline construct, smaller than the one they'd seen earlier but no less mesmerizing. Waiting for them were 3 aliens, each adorned with unique patterns that distinguished them from the others. One stepped forward, its movements deliberate and commanding. "You are ready," it projected telepathically, its tone firm yet devoid of malice. "For what?" Alex asked, crossing their arms defensively. "To learn control." Before Alex could respond, the alien gestured toward the nearest platform. A beam of light shot upward, forming a humanoid figure composed entirely of radiant energy. The figure turned to face Alex, its features indistinct but unmistakably humanoid. "This is your first trial," the alien explained. "Defeat the construct." Alex blinked in disbelief. "You want me to fight, that?" "Not fight," the voice corrected. "Adapt." Without warning, the energy figure lunged at Alex, moving faster than anything they'd ever encountered. Instinctively, Alex ducked, narrowly avoiding a blow that would have sent them tumbling off the edge of the platform. Rolling to their feet, they realized the glowing lines on their arms were pulsating brightly, responding to the adrenaline coursing through their veins. "What's happening to me?" Alex muttered under their breath. "Your body has begun to integrate our essence," the voice within replied calmly. "Use it." Summoning every ounce of courage they possessed, Alex focused on the sensation radiating from their core, the same warmth they'd felt during the transformation. As they did, they noticed something extraordinary. Their vision sharpened, allowing them to track the construct's movements with uncanny precision. Their reflexes quickened, enabling them to dodge attacks that should have been impossible to evade. But dodging wasn't enough. Alex needed to counterattack, and fast. Reaching deep inside themselves, they channeled the energy surging through their veins. To their astonishment, their hands began to glow faintly, emitting a soft blue light. Clenching their fists, Alex swung blindly at the construct, releasing a burst of energy that sent it staggering backward. "Yes!" Alex shouted triumphantly, their confidence growing. But the construct recovered quickly, launching another assault. This time, Alex didn't hesitate. They sidestepped gracefully, using their enhanced agility to outmaneuver their opponent. With each successful dodge, they grew bolder, experimenting with new ways to harness the power within them. Soon, they discovered they could project energy blasts not just with their fists but also with their thoughts. Focusing intently, Alex imagined a barrier forming between them and the construct. A translucent shield materialized instantly, deflecting the construct's next attack with ease. The aliens observed silently, their glowing patterns flickering approvingly. Encouraged by their progress, Alex pressed the advantage. Summoning all their strength, they unleashed a concentrated beam of energy directly at the construct. The figure shattered into fragments of light, dissolving into nothingness. Breathing heavily, Alex dropped to one knee, exhaustion washing over them. But even as fatigue set in, they couldn't deny the exhilaration coursing through their body. They had done it, they had won. "Impressive," the lead alien acknowledged, stepping closer. "You adapt quickly." "Yeah, well, I've got good teachers," Alex quipped, glancing pointedly at the voice within. The voice chuckled softly, a sound so human it caught Alex off guard. "Flattery will get you far." Before Alex could reply, the alien gestured toward the next platform. Another construct appeared, this one larger and more menacing than the last. Its eyes glowed fiercely, and its limbs crackled with electricity. "Trial 2 begins," the alien announced. Alex groaned inwardly, forcing themselves back to their feet. "How many of these things do I have to fight?" "As many as it takes," the alien replied matter-of-factly. "Great. Just great." Taking a deep breath, Alex prepared for the next challenge. This time, however, they approached the battle with a newfound sense of purpose. They weren't just fighting to survive, they were proving to themselves that they belonged here, among beings who saw potential in them when they couldn't see it in themselves. As the second construct charged forward, Alex raised their hands, ready to meet it head-on. The second construct moved with terrifying speed, its electrified limbs leaving trails of crackling energy in its wake. Alex barely had time to react before it was upon them, swinging a massive arm that seemed capable of shattering bones. At the last moment, Alex dove sideways, rolling across the platform and narrowly avoiding the blow. But this wasn't like the first trial. This construct didn't just attack, it adapted. Every missed strike made it smarter, faster, more unpredictable. It began circling Alex, analyzing their movements as if calculating their weaknesses. "Think," the voice within urged. "You can't rely solely on instinct. Strategy is key." Alex gritted their teeth, forcing themselves to focus despite the chaos unfolding around them. They remembered what they'd learned during the first fight, the importance of control, precision, and using their new abilities creatively. Summoning another energy shield, they deflected one of the construct's lightning-fast strikes, buying themselves precious seconds to think. "What do I do?" Alex muttered under their breath. "Exploit its behavior," the voice suggested. "Every system has flaws, even artificial ones." As the construct lunged again, Alex noticed something peculiar. Its glowing eyes flickered briefly whenever it changed direction, as though recalibrating its targeting system. That split-second delay might be all they needed. Timing their move carefully, Alex feinted left, drawing the construct into a predictable swing. Just as expected, its eyes dimmed momentarily. Seizing the opportunity, Alex unleashed a concentrated burst of energy directly at its core. The construct staggered, its movements faltering for the first time. "Yes!" Alex shouted, pressing the advantage. They unleashed a flurry of attacks, combining physical strikes with telekinetic blasts. Each hit weakened the construct further, until finally, with a deafening crackle, it collapsed into fragments of light. Panting heavily, Alex dropped to one knee, their body trembling with exhaustion. But even as fatigue threatened to overwhelm them, they couldn't help but feel a spark of pride. 2 trials down, and they were still standing. The lead alien approached, its glowing patterns pulsing rhythmically. "Your progress is commendable," it projected. "But true mastery requires understanding, not just strength." Before Alex could ask what that meant, the alien gestured toward the crystalline structure at the center of the chamber. A beam of light shot upward, forming not another construct, but a holographic display. Images of planets, stars, and celestial phenomena filled the air, accompanied by streams of data too complex for Alex to decipher. "This is our mission," the alien explained. "To preserve life amidst universal decay. Your role is unique, you are both protector and bridge." "Bridge?" Alex echoed, frowning in confusion. "Between species," the voice within clarified. "Your transformation allows you to connect with others on a fundamental level. You will unite those who cannot otherwise communicate, forging alliances critical to our survival." Alex stared at the hologram, their mind reeling. "So, I'm not just here to fight? I'm supposed to be some kind of diplomat too?" "In a sense," the alien replied. But diplomacy alone will not suffice. There are forces beyond our control, forces that seek destruction rather than preservation. The hologram shifted, showing scenes of devastation unlike anything Alex had seen before. Entire galaxies consumed by black voids, civilizations reduced to dust, and fleets of ships locked in brutal warfare. Among the chaos, however, there were moments of hope, united armies pushing back against the darkness, scientists working tirelessly to develop countermeasures, and survivors banding together to rebuild shattered worlds. These are the stakes, the alien continued. Failure means extinction, for all life, everywhere. Alex swallowed hard, the weight of responsibility settling heavily on their shoulders. Why me? Why pick someone so ordinary? Ordinary individuals often possess extraordinary potential, the voice within said gently. You have already proven yourself capable of growth, resilience, and courage. Those qualities make you invaluable. For a long moment, Alex said nothing, simply staring at the hologram as it dissolved into darkness. They thought about everything they'd endured, the capture, the experiments, the battles, and realized something profound: they weren't the same person they'd been when this nightmare began. I'll do it, Alex said finally, their voice steady despite the turmoil inside them. I'll help you save whatever I can. The aliens exchanged glances, their glowing patterns brightening slightly. Then, without warning, the lead alien extended its hand once more. This time, instead of flooding Alex's mind with memories, it opened a direct link between them, a shared consciousness that allowed Alex to see the full scope of the mission. They saw timelines stretching across millennia, civilizations rising and falling, and countless lives hanging in the balance. They also saw glimpses of allies scattered throughout the galaxy, each playing a vital role in the struggle ahead. When the connection broke, Alex staggered backward, overwhelmed by the sheer scale of what they'd witnessed. Tears streamed down their face as they tried to process the enormity of the task before them. Fear not, the voice within reassured them. You are not alone. We stand beside you, as equals. Alex nodded slowly, wiping their tears away with the back of their hand. Okay. What's next? The lead alien gestured toward the exit, where a sleek transport pod awaited. We travel to the blinking marker, the rallying point for our coalition. There, you will meet others like us. Together, we will forge a path forward. Taking a deep breath, Alex stepped onto the platform leading to the pod. As they climbed inside, they glanced back at the crystalline structure one last time, its light pulsing faintly in acknowledgement. Whatever lay ahead, Alex knew one thing for certain: they weren't running anymore.